Yo yo! Current situation. Finally got a reasonable weather window of a few days. So off on another wee adventure. Heading up the Whataroa, fly camping for 4 or 5 days, depending on the weather. Geez, it's been fickle on the coast. Spring weather, I guess. So yeah, just gonna fly camp up the main valley and hunt the side creeks for chamois, hopefully. Weather's just clearing now, which is good, so see how we get on. Keep you updated. I think I've been spending too much time at home in Marlborough, lounging around eating too much good food. Mind you, most of that's the hip belt causing that to pop out. Yeah, not very far into it and I'm already feeling it. Gee, you notice the difference when you haven't been out in the hill for a few weeks or a couple of months. Anyway, onward and upward. I just got back from having a look up this creek here, side creek of the Whataroa. There's a lot of deer sign the first couple of 100 metres, but the higher I got, the less it became. I got up reasonably high and then there's a nice section of creek bed with toys and scrub and grass up there, so I sat there for about an hour and a half. Nothing came out. Started back down here and then I was just across the bloody river here on one of these benchy terraces and poked my nose out of the scrub, and I've only ever had this happen once before, but something told me there was something standing beside me. So I looked around and here's a spiker standing there. It must have been only 20 metres. But like I say, I've only ever had that happen once before, and I reckon it's not so much that corny cliched sixth sense or anything. I reckon it's just your peripheral vision has caught a glimpse of it, but your conscious mind hasn't registered, but your subconscious mind has. Don't know, strange. Something made me swing my head round there anyway. Peripheral vision, I reckon. Anyway, so he was quartered front on, and I went to full draw, released, went straight under his belly. My anchor and everything was good, the release was good, but I always do it, neglected to pick one hair on his body to aim at. You generally just aim at the whole animal, which is the wrong thing to do. Aim small, miss small. Anyway, that was quite cool. A bit of excitement at the end of the day. Dinner time, I think, after the brew, of course. Well, I'm halfway up to Nolan's hut now. Had to stop and have a break and recompose myself. I slipped on a bloody tree root and arsed up, went face first into the bog. Scrarked my shin up, soaked my camera, which isn't weather sealed. So time for a break and a brew. It's a hard case. I picked myself up out of the mud, came up onto this little wee rise and spooked the hind just right here. She must have heard me fall over, no doubt laughing. Ran away and started barking her head off. Missed opportunity, never mind. Nice day today, blue sky. Choice. I've just come up onto the flats above Nolan's hut. There's a nice, well, the whole area's grassy river flats. There's a lot of fresh shit on it. So just waiting on this edge over here. Hopefully something might pop its nose out. Wonder what the story is behind that old girl. Looks like the hindquarters have been taken off it. Every skeleton has a story, no doubt. Good morning. About mid-morning now, and I'm right up in the head of Pauline Creek. We're actually up here during the roar. I'll be 7 or 8 or 9 years ago now, and we stalked this creek a couple of times, and gee, there was good numbers of chamois in there, but come up here this morning and stalking into the wind the whole way. And apart from the odd single set of fresh tracks, they're just not in here like they used to be. I saw one halfway up here from Nolan's in the main Whataroa riverbed. Just one of those situations where you come around a corner in the jumble of rocks and there's one feeding on the mossy riverbank. Too quick for me. It was about 40 metres away, and then just as I got up here there was two took off on that slip behind me there. But yeah, just not the same numbers like they used to be, which is a bit of a shame. Saw a kaka just before, which was pretty cool. So I might just sit up here for a bit, have a kip, rest my weary bones, and I'll catch you later. Yo yo! First of all, apologies for ending abruptly the video footage on that trip. I was quite frankly not in the mood to be doing any filming on the walk out. But anyway, on that day, the day trip up Pauline Stream, I got back to the hut with a couple of hours to spare before dark, so I went for a bush stalk up on a big bush terrace behind the hut. And I was quite surprised at the amount of deer sign in there, so spent a couple of hours in there sneaking around in bush stalking mode, and managed to get sneak in on 2 spikers in the bush there. I got to 15 metres, and they were both broadside, or pretty much broadside, at 15 metres. Of course the wind was good, and they couldn't see me, but they knew something was up. I think, well, they would have heard a slight noise on my part, but there was a bit of a standoff for about 2 minutes there, I guess, and I just didn't have a window to shoot through. Unfortunately, nothing I could do. Just waited for them to make a move, and they ended up thinking better of it, and yeah, walked off away. So, but that was exciting. I love getting close to animals like that, whether it be with a weapon or a camera. It's awesome fun. So yeah, just wanted to do another review on another camera toy that I bought recently. I have been toying with the idea of buying a little action camera for ages, namely a GoPro, but for the amount of use I'd get out of it, I couldn't justify the $600 or $700 to get a GoPro. But I sat down a couple of months ago and started researching action cameras, and discovered that there's several other brands out there that make pretty much the same thing as the GoPro. When you look at their specs side by side, they're doing 90% of what a GoPro does, and yet they're about 1/3 of the cost. And they're brands I'd never heard of, but so I picked a couple of 3 of these alternative brands out that were, you know, 1/3 of the cost, compared their specs side by side, and settled on this little one called a, is that going to focus? A Thieye T5e. So the brand name is Thieye, Thieye, and the model is T5e. And like I say, it does everything a GoPro does pretty much. I'll just put a battery in it, it might work, eh? So yeah, it does 4K at 30 frames per second. It does 1080 at 100 frames a second, and 720 at 200. That's on our PAL system. So yeah, good quality footage and good frame rates that you can use for slow motion. It's got a 2-inch screen on the back, with a, there it goes, menu system that you can scroll through. And the good thing about it is it's using a Sony IMX117 sensor, which is one of Sony's best sensors available. They've got them in a lot of their camcorders. So it's producing good quality footage as well. And more notes. The photos it can produce are 12 megapixel. It's got time-lapse video and time-lapse photo modes. One downside is downside of it compared to GoPros is the low light capabilities are not that flash. And unlike many of the other action cameras, it actually comes with 2 batteries. Being such a small unit, the batteries are small, therefore the battery life is never great on these little things. So it's one of the few brands that comes with 2 in the packet, which is great. It also comes with an underwater housing that supposedly is good to 60 meters. and other than that it's just a few little accessories, supports and brackets, but the fact that it's got 2 batteries and the underwater housing with it is fantastic. I'll just flick through some of the options here, see if it's got electronic image stabilization, although it doesn't work at 4K recording. Got a long exposure mode, and yeah, that's right, it's Wi-Fi compatible, and I've got a Thieye put out an app that you can download, connect through Wi-Fi and control it remotely. I used it, one of the first things I photographed with it or filmed with it was I stuck the thing in a bush in Mum and Dad's backyard just above a blackbird's nest, and was able to sit back inside with my phone and see what the camera's seeing on my phone, and as soon as the bird arrived on the nest, just tap the record button. It's great for that. So yeah, lots of capabilities with these little things, different perspectives and angles. So this one I got, I think from memory it was about $230 New Zealand, delivered to my door. So to my mind that's pretty good. And I see the GoPro Hero 6 is out now, and that's about $850. So yeah, there's me wee review for this video. I bought a trout license a couple of days ago. I haven't had one for the last couple of years, so looking to get back into some fly fishing. So on top of the hunting trips and the wildlife photography trips, hopefully be videoing some fly fishing for you guys. So yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Ciao.